ॐ यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रणोति तस्मै ब्रह्मदेवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा येनाक्षरसमाम्नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै वाणिनये नमः वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्. Okay. So before the language class, I prefer to also remember Panini and the Munitrayam. I mean Patanjali and Katyayana, both three of them, because they are the ones who have done the Shabda Sadhutva, like they reach, they the concept of Shabda Sadhutvam is possible because of Vyakarana. Okay. So we are using many Vyakarana concepts here without even knowing all the basic Vyakarana concepts we are using. We are not directly using Panini's Vyakarana, but we are using these concepts, okay, as many as possible. That is why we have to say thanks to him. Okay. So whenever you sit for some Adhyayana apart from this class also, you can recite these two shlokas. I hope you already know about this. So if you recite, it will be very good. Okay. Okay. So today's lesson is a new lesson. The first block has been completed. We have done the dhatus, dhatu rupas with the concept of dhatu, the dhatu rupas with all the three purushas, three vachanas, and we have completed our 3 into 3 grid. Okay. After that, we have also done the upasargas. Okay. So we have also done the upasargas, which are added to the dhatu to generate a new meaning, and what are all the things involved in that we have. And I have also promised to do the lakara parichaya, right? We will do some other time. Okay, we'll definitely do that, but some other time. Okay. So now we will be entering into a new block of the new block where there is some this thing with shabdas. Okay, there is a new concept that is starting, which is called shabda or namapada. Okay, because to make it technically look alike, sound alike, like dhatu rupa or kriya rupa. Okay, kriya rupa. So we are using namapada, nama rupa or shabda rupa, something. All are similar. Okay, shabda, nama, pada is there all. Pada can be anyone, but Shabda and Nama are technical names for the concept of noun, something very related to nominative. What we say nominative in the like noun, name related in the English. Okay, noun. Okay, the naming concept. Okay, so all that things we have learned till now are action words, like where they are doing something always, inevitably something they are doing. Okay, he is eating, she is sleeping, they are singing. Okay, we are going. Okay, all these things are like the kriyas we are doing. There is something about doing in that. Now we are coming into the naming world. Okay, the naming. Okay, the nama rupatmaka vishwa is there. So nama and rupa, that we are going to deal with. Okay. So the kriya jagat is complete. The basics of kriya jagat is complete. Now nama jagat. Okay. So in that we will be dealing with something called akaranta pullinga and akaranta napunsakalinga. Okay, prathama vibhakti will be covered in this, and we will be using, for example, rama shabda and phala shabda. This is what we are going to cover in this lesson. Okay, so first introduction. So first, please observe these 3 sentences. Ramaha jayati, Sita ahvayati, phalam patati. Okay. Ramaha jayati, Sita ahvayati, phalam patati. So in these sentences, what we observe is Ramaha. You know Jayati. You already know Jayati. We have Ti in the end. So what is that? It is Pratham Purusha, Ekavachana, okay, and Vartamana Kala. So Jayati has something to do with one person doing something now that we have all discussed. Okay, so we are very clear about Jayati. Now one person, we are talking about that one person now. Okay, who that one person is? That is Ramaha in this case. He is doing some work called Jayati. Okay, he is very fond of doing that. He is very trained to do that. The Jayati, he is always doing the Jayati task. He is always victorious. He is always winning. Okay, so Ramaha Jayati. So let him do the uh, winning task forever, for our sake. Okay, he wins for us, right? So Jayati, who Ramaha. Okay, the Kriya. When you pick the Kriya and ask who wins, then we now got an answer. Okay, so now we are going into that area of that answer. Okay, which is related to Kriya with who. Okay, somebody is coming out now. Okay, to put as a namesake. So Rama is winning. That means Rama Jayati. Then Sita ahvayati. Sita is calling. Okay, ahvayati, inviting, calling somebody. Okay. Now modern days, I like one thing very nice with modern approach to language is that people immediately prepare words for the modern concepts also. So we don't have a word in Telugu till date to make a call on mobile. When we use a mobile, we don't have a word. We say call chestunnanu. That means I'm calling. Like I am doing a call. There is something called call. We take it and then say we do the call. We are doing the calling. That's how we frame the sentence. But in Sanskrit, they have picked a word called ahvayati. So they say, Charavani taha ahvayami. I'll call you by the mobile. So I liked it very much. So now in the modern day, Sita ahvayati can also mean that if she is not that time Sita, who is somebody now, so calling by mobile also can be included. So Sita is calling, Sita is inviting, Sita is calling by mobile. She is making a call on the mobile. That also can be taken. Okay. Sita ahvayati. Then phalam patati. Phalam is a fruit. Okay. So Sita Rama just names. Name of a boy, name of a girl. Then this is name of a thing. Phalam. It's a fruit. Phalam patati. Maybe it's ripe and it had got plucked and it by itself and it is falling down. So phalam patati. We see that there is a T in all these places. That is one observation. Of course, we understood that Rama, Sita and Phalam are names. Though nobody tells us, we know some language already. So we are aware that Rama, Sita and Phalam are some names. Okay. And they are related to Jayati, Ahvayati and Patati in some manner. That I did not cover in the slide, but I am telling you. So when we ask a Jayati, who, okay, who to the, we put the question to the Kriya, okay. When we see the Kriya and we ask who, then the answer comes is the Namapada in its nominative case. Of course, isn't it? The sun rises in the east. Who rises? Pick the Kriya and say who. Who rises? The sun. The sun is the answer. Okay, the boy runs very quickly. The boy runs. Who runs? Boy runs. Okay. I am waiting for the bus. Waiting. Who is waiting? I am waiting. I is the subject. Isn't it the same way when you ask the Kriya? Okay. When you ask the Kriya who, okay, the answer comes is called the nominative case. That itself, that is called Prathama Vibhakti in Sanskrit. Prathama Vibhakti. Okay, we'll come to that a bit later. Okay, so in the Namapada. So now we are coming to our x plus y formula. Again, we are going back to that. If you remember well, I know in the Kriya Pada, the x is equal to Dhatu and y is equal to Purusha Pratyaya. Now the things change. X plus y doesn't change, but things change. What is represented by x changes. So now the x is representing the base of Namapada, not the Kriyapada. Okay, Kriyapada's base was Dhatu. Now we have a new name for Namapada's base, that is Pratipadikam. Pratipadikam is the base for a Namapada. Okay, so x is equal to Pratipadikam during a Namapada consideration. When we consider a Namapada, we are talking about a Pratipadikam. So that's the base of the noun. The noun base, nominal base is Pratipadikam. Okay, right. Next, what is y then? The y will change or not change? Obviously, it will change, isn't it? So we cannot use tita, anti, sita, dha, mi, vaha, maha. The y of the kriyas we cannot use as a y of nominative words. Okay, nominal words. Sorry. So they are called vibhakti pratyayas. So vibhakti pratyaya is the term which we use for namapadas. Let me be clear in the very beginning. See, to my students, I try to give all the knowledge whichever they can take. I don't want them to be dumb from a Shastra's point of view also. So in the Shastra, Vibhakti is used in the two, used for all the two concepts. That is Purusha Pratyaya and this Vibhakti Pratyas, what we generally call Nama Pada Pratyas, let us call as Nama Pratyas, something related to Nama Pada. So Vibhakti is both. Actually, Purusha Pratyas are also Vibhakti Pratyas according to Panini. But we don't know how in the world the Vibhakti got settled to only the Namapada Pratyayas. Okay. So for the Kriya Pada Pratyayas, we are calling Purusha Pratyayas. Okay, they are not called, they have nothing to do with Namapadas, of course. But Vibhakti has much to do with the Purusha Pratyayas because it also represents the word, also has the expanse of going into the meaning area of that also. But in the world, in the worldly conventions, we are no more using Vibhakti in the form of a Purusha Pratyaya. For the, we don't denote the Purusha Pratyaya anymore with this word. That's why we use Vibhakti only for the Namapada Pratyaya. Okay, the Pratyas which are added to a Nama, to a Pratipadikam, okay, to a nominal base. Right. Now, so the Kriya Pada had some criteria, some news, some samachara, some information that it carries along with it. Now let us see what information does a Namapada carry. Okay, Namapada carries so and so information. So the first thing which differs from Kriya Pada. Okay, let us first mark the differentiating factor, that's Lingam. As we have seen, the lingam does not change with the changed noun. Now, I will show you right here how it is working in the language. Jayati, ahvayati, patati. Okay, when I was teaching you the Purusha Pratyayas, I said Prathama Purusha Pratyayas are three. For the three vachanas, that's all. Did I tell you that Rama, it will take different verb endings, terminations with different genders, different lingas? No. Okay, there are two genders, masculine and feminine in English, and there is one more neuter in the Sanskrit. Okay, like mainly they always, in all languages we have only two, in some languages we have three, but in English they say there is a common gender also, but in Sanskritam luckily we have only three genders. Okay, but the genders are influencing not the Kriya but the nominal base only. Okay, so the nominal bases are divided into three lingas. Okay, Pullinga, Strilinga and Napunsakalinga or Kliba. Napunsakalinga is also called Kliba because the Shastra uses it in many places. I don't want my students to be dumb. That's why I prefer to use both the words Kliba because many people don't know what Kliba is. That I have realized through my career, and then I thought, okay, I'll include this in my basic lessons as such, so that they can have an exposure to this word at the earliest. They can use the koshas, they can use many things if they have exposure to this word. Okay, Strilinga, Pullinga, Napumsakalinga. There are two ways of writing. Some people write it Pumlinga, some people write it Pullinga, and you better know as a grammar student how it works and all that comes in Siddhantam. There's an elaborate chapter, I mean sutra on this, and there's a lot of discussion how many forms are possible because of that. It's very interesting for all grammar people who really cherish the every little that Ardha Varna also. Ardha Varna also they work with it, but we don't have much to do it about it here. So we just say whatever they give as a nishkarsha. So what is the final word? We will ask them. They say Pumlinga is the final. Okay, let us have it. Pumlinga, whatever. We'll settle with one thing. Okay. So we'll use it throughout our lessons. Okay. Right. So three lingas the nominal base takes. Okay. Nominal bases take three lingas. Then, and it is related to Pratipadikam only. Linga is not related to the final output. Along the, it's not x plus y that we are talking. We are talking about x's. Okay, only x quality is linga. Okay. Now we'll go to Vibhakti. Vibhakti is like, as we discussed, it is the y which is added to the Pratipadikam. Something which is added to the right side of the Pratipadikam. Okay, because it is a pratyaya. Pratyaya is always something added to the right of the base, whatever base we are talking. Okay, pradhanatah there are two bases. By the main classification, the first level classification, the basic level classification has a two. Okay, so two, that is kriyapadas and namapadas. So kriyapadas take purusha pratyayas, namapadas take vibhakti pratyayas. So those vibhakti pratyayas, I am again repeating, not for making you confused, but to make the clarity. Okay, I hope it helps only in clarity. Let me put this thing for confusion. Okay, bar for a confusion. It should not confuse you. Okay, so this vibhakti, there are 7 vibhaktis. Okay, 7 vibhaktis in Sanskrit, which are like told by Panini. Okay, so all other concepts we have names. Okay, like Purusha Pratyayas also we have something called Prathama Purusha, and we don't have Dvitiya Purusha and Tritiya Purusha, but we have Madhyama Purusha and Uttama Purusha. So Prathama Purusha is not a Sankhya that we understand because of Madhyama and Uttama. The next names we understand that Prathama is not a Sankhya here, at least it's not an ordinal that we have ordinal. We are not talking about something numbering or something. But in Vibhakti case, we are dealing with numbering only. So we don't have any name to that. Okay, we don't have any name to any of the Vibhaktis. We have only one thing, that is Prathama, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti, Saptami. Okay, so there is one more which is not a complete Vibhakti in itself, but it does show only one form which is different from Prathama. It is a part of Prathama. It is actually Prathama Vibhakti, but only one Ekavachana changes everywhere. That's why we consider it as a separate entity, but not a separate Vibhakti. Many people give a big place to Sambodhana. They even teach students. That's a very big mistake that they are doing. For students, they are teaching that there are 8 vibhaktis. What a student learns from the teacher for the first time becomes his first knowledge, and it really is like a concrete base for a building. A building can be changed, but this base cannot be changed very easily. You have to almost demolish the whole building to change the base. Same thing happens with our knowledge also. So I don't want to confuse my students with the 8 vibhakti, and the number is very like elusive, and they'll feel very much cheated later when they will know that there are only 7 vibhaktis. So what about this? So what I devised a method is, let us say 7 plus 1. Let us not say 8, where 7 plus 1 is not equal to 8. Okay, 7 plus 1 is 7 plus 1. So they say 1 plus 1 offer. They don't say there is a 2 offer. They say 1 plus 1 offer. So it's a Saptami, 7 plus 1. Okay. So there are 7 plus 1, where this plus 1 is equal to this Sambodhana Vibhakti. It is almost like Prathama, just the Ekavachana changes. So we have to keep that in our mind. So the second information or the second criteria which is related to a Namapada is Vibhakti. The first criteria Lingam, Strilinga, Pullinga, Napusakalinga. Second criteria Vibhakti, there are 7 Vibhaktis. Okay. The third is Vachanam. Okay. Luckily, Vachanam does not change. For this also, there is only 3 Vachanams, Eka, Dvi and Bahu. Okay. Eka Vachanam, Dvivachanam, Bahuvachanam. So whatever Vibhakti we are speaking, it exists in the Ekavachana, Dvivachana and Bahuvachana. That is how it works. Okay. So there are 7 plus 1 Vibhaktis and there are 3 Vachanas. Right. So there we are going to have total number of forms possible for any Namapada is this number 7 plus 1 into 3. Okay, we'll totally have 24 forms where actually 22 only are the new forms. There are repeated forms also in that, so let's not worry about that. Total 24 we see. Okay, so that is how this works. Then is there any relation between a Namapada and a Kriyapada? That is a question. As we say Rama Jayati, is there a relation between? So there is a very big relation. There is a very, very big relation about which we are going to study stepwise in each lesson, one concept that we will learn. Okay, so what I have done is I have prepared separate lessons for this Vibhakti concept. We will learn in each lesson a new Vibhakti, okay, and all its details, its working things, and then we will relate it to, we will all consolidate it in one day, and then we'll totally have a complete picture. Instead of introducing all the 24 forms to you like this and bombarding all those things to you, I chose to be slower, to be like stepwise, to be like dealing with the meanings also of the vibhaktis, as many as possible. Let us try. Okay. So now, so this Namapada and Kriyapada are very intimately related. That is there. They are not two separate things in a language like the boy is in the room. So the boy is in the room. So in the room are one concept. The boy is one concept. So the room and boy are connected by in. Okay, something like that. Okay, so it's like inseparable. Okay, something like that happens with this also. So Kriya Padasya Vachanam. And then one more thing, directly also, meaning wise also, there is lot of involvement of Kriya and Nama, both influence each other. So Vachanam, the direct thing which changes before our eyes is that Kriya. Kriya Padas number decides the Nama Padas number, or it is decided by the Nama Padas number. I say Gachanti. You'll immediately guess that there are more people than 2. I said Gachanti. I did not say Bahavaha Gachanti. Many people are going. I did not say anything. Okay. I don't say many go. Okay. In English, we have to use they, and there is some guess. But in Sanskrit, I am saying Gachanti. As soon as you listen Anti, you will presume that there are more than 2 people. Okay. There are 3 or more. Okay. So that is the conclusion. So that, how did you know? So when I say Gachanti, I say like there are many boys going. So the boys are going. I say boys Gachanti. Okay, so there are boys. Okay, so you understand that it's a Bahuvachana. And it is immediately giving you knowledge. The Gachanti itself is giving you a knowledge that there are many. That is how they are related. Okay. If I say boy Gachanti, you say no, you are wrong. Boy cannot Gachanti. Boy can Gachati. Okay, it can be boy Gachati, not Gachanti. Okay, so that's how they are related. Here now I introduce a very new concept which was not there in the Kriya Pada. Okay, something which is very new, which is exclusive to this Namapada. That concept is Aksharantata. Okay, So I don't know. English is such a poor language, such a wanting language. I should not use poor word for it. It's a very wanting language. There are many concepts that are wanting in English. Okay. So this Aksharantata is, I mean, more or less it is there a little bit in Telugu and Hindi. That's why we are comfortable understanding it. But in English it is not there. So nothing changes because of the end except apostrophe. Yes, I remember. And now I can explain. Yeah, at least one concept should be there. So when there is a uh, like S ending word and you have to use a possessive case. Okay, you say Rama's arrow. Rama Bana, Rama's arrow, you say. Apostrophe, yes, you put. So what do you do with an S ending word? Let's say your boss is something you have to say. So what they do, they put apostrophe after the second S and leave it. They don't put another S. Isn't it? Even with Bahuvachana, they do the same thing. Okay. So that is how, like the ending can influence the case. Okay, this is one beautiful example which is possible in English as far as I have seen. Okay, so it is the apostrophe S is affected by the ending letter. When it is S, you are not using another S. In the same way, in Sanskrit, it is more exclusive, it is like more expansive, and it is everywhere. And it's like it's a bigger concept than in English. In English, it's only a little bit, but you can be ready for much new material regarding this. So what exactly happens? Let's come to Sanskrit and let's try to understand. Anta Akshara, what is there in the end? Okay, this feature is influencing how the word form is, how the word is forming, how the word form is going to look is dependent upon the ending letter of the word. Okay, now the Anupurvi that we have learned comes to our rescue, comes to our, not rescue, but comes into picture where we have to use it. Okay, so where there is some, like there's some set of 4 or 5 varnas in that. We do, let us not use letter. It's very confusing when we say letter. Let us say varna. Okay, there are more than 5 or 6 varnas in a word, in a pada. Okay, so how to deal with it? Then it is the last letter that we are going to look at. For example, my name is Usha. So what I hear, U, Sh, A. 3 varnas are there. U, Sh, A. For example, let us say Usha Rani. My name is Rani. In Telugu, Ragni is Rani. Okay, so it's a like local word. Rani is the queen. She is called Rajni in Sanskrit, but in Telugu locals they call Rani. In Hindi we say Rani. Okay, so that E ending letter. Okay, so anyway, that's common. So U, Sh, A, R, A, N, E. How many are there? 7 varnas are there. 7 varnas. But we don't have anything to do with all the 6 varnas. The first initial 6 varnas we'll forget. We won't even look at it, what it comprises of. We look only at the ending letter. It is E. Okay. And then we have set off these 7 vibhakti pratyas ready with us. Okay. Then we immediately bring that apt apt vibhakti and put it. This is how things work in Sanskrit. This is a basic principle. Okay, but we will see how and what comes. We will see all next. Okay, so this is the Aksharantata concept. So Aksharantata is 2 kinds in Sanskrit. One is what do you call that? Ajanta. Okay, Ajanta and then Halanta. Ajanta are all vowel endings. Halanta are all consonant endings. Okay. So what is a vowel ending? How many kinds are there? So something ending with a vowel. A, I, U, R, A, I, R. So So there are no r, there are no l also. Okay, then a, I, o, au, till here. There are no and visarga. They are ayogavahas. They are not swaras. Okay, they are neither vowels nor consonants. They are ayogavaha. So a to au are swaras. So whatever letter has one of these swaras as the last varna in the pratipadika. Meanwhile, please take care of this word pratipadika. In the nominal base, when the last varna is a vowel, it is called ajanta. Okay. And the other one is called Ellora. So is it so Ajanta and Ellora? No. The next one is called Halanta. Okay. One is Ajanta and the second one is Halanta. So what is a Halanta? Kadayo Mavasana Sparsha and then till Ha. Yara Lava Shasha Saha. So those 25 plus these 8 letters. So all these letters are called consonants. So whichever pratipadika is going to have one of these letters, anyone. Okay, there are many, not all are not there. So some bases have only some of them in the end, like some 10 or 12 are there. Okay, not all letters form nominal bases, luckily. So only those letters are consonant ending, halanta, ajanta, halanta. Okay, so these are the aksharas. So what is there in the end is deciding what form it is going to get. Okay, so this is one concept. Now we are going to see the first basic thing, akaranta. Okay, now kara. What is a kara? Kara is the sound, a sound. Okay, the a varna, simply a varna, a sound. Akara is pa sound. Okay, kara is a sound that we say. So akara is the nominal base is having a in the end. So when we say Rama, a, Krishna, a, Shiva, a. When I say Usha, then there is a. There is no a. So you see the difference? Dirgha and Rasva also make a difference. So we are not talking about Dirgha. We are talking only about the Hrasva Akara, which is the short one, short A. The first A. Okay, so Rama, Krishna, Shiva, Vasudeva, Mukunda, Achyuta, Janardana, Gopala, Govinda. All these names, mostly there are Ajantas only. Okay, we are talking about them. Okay, and when we speak of that I will tell you later also. I will tell you that. So Pullinga Trishu Vachaneshu, in the 3 Vachanas. So whatever we are going to talk is going to be into 3. We said Prathama Vibhakti lesson is, this lesson is Prathama Vibhakti lesson. So we are talking about Prathama Vibhakti into 3. Okay. Next Dvitiya Vibhakti into 3 Vachanas. Then Tritiya Vibhakti into 3. So that is how it works. Okay. So now this Prathama Vibhakti into 3 that we are doing. Okay. So Akaranta Pullinga Pratipadikam. So what we do is the Shabda or Nama Moolam, Shabda Moolam, Nama Moolam is a Pratipadikam. Okay. So the Pratipadikam plus this Vibhakti Pratyaya. So you'll immediately ask, what is a Sup Pratyaya? Something I see, Sup is written there. So Sup is nothing but the technical name of this Vibhakti. Because Vibhakti is of 2 kinds in the Vyakarana, we have one concept called Sup that we will come to later. Okay, the Sup Pratyaya is nothing but a Vibhakti Pratyaya, which is added at the end of Nama Pratipadikam, Nama Moola. Okay, so this Nama Moola we are taking one as Akaranta Pullinga, example Rama, Deva, Buddha, etc. Okay. So how does a Prathama Vibhakti Supa Pratyaya look? So we are now talking about the Ekavachana. Okay, Ekavachana Prathama Vibhakti Pratyaya is technically it is a Su. Okay, there is one technical Pratyaya and there is non-technical. Non-technical working. The working Pratyaya we put to the Pratipadika. Okay, so it is technically called Su. But the shell is removed and what comes out is a aha, that we join to Rama or some Pratipadika, some ending Pratipadika. So we don't put Rama and Su together, Rama Su. We don't say Rama Su, but we say Rama. There is a Visarga. Okay, so this is the first Vibhakti Yukta word. Rama plus aha, Ramaha. Okay, and then the Dvivachana. Next comes the Dvivachana. There is one Rama. So the subject of the sentence, the nominative case, and the word that comes as an answer to the verb when it is asked who, verb who. Okay, for example, the bird is flying. So flying, who is flying? The bird is flying. So for the flying, bird is the subject. So one bird is flying. I said two birds are flying. Okay, two birds are flying. In English, flying does not change, right? But the two birds are, the R has changed. When I said bird, then it is. Bird is flying. When I say many, it is birds are flying. In English, there are only two numbers, so it is only is and are. But in Sanskrit, there is something in between both of them. Okay, we don't have a word for it in Sanskrit. We can say two are. Okay, is, two are, and are. Okay, so that two are is out. Okay, so it is the R in English is verb related, but here this is nominative based. The birds that we said, birds. Okay, birds are flying. Okay, in Sanskrit the flying also changes. Okay, bird also changes. So birds, two birds. So au, we say it with au. Then just is the technical pratyaya and the working pratyaya is ah. Okay, so Rama plus ah, Rama. Okay, so Ramaha, Ramau, Ramaha. Okay, these are the three numbers, like singular Rama, there are two Ramas, there are many Ramas. Right, Ramaha, Ramau, Ramaha. In the same way, as I told you, there is like Rama, same like Deva, Devaha, Devau, Devaha. One Deva, two Devas, many Devas. Okay, then, so this is how the works. So Tathaiva Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, Krishna, Balarama, Aditya, Surya, Khaga, all these words. So khagaha, khagaha, khagau, khagaha. One bird, two birds, many birds. One Lakshmana, two Lakshmanas, many Lakshmanas. Okay. Somebody, I really enjoy telling certain stories again and again. Somebody asked me, hey, Rama is only one now. How can you say Rama and Rama? They were so, this thing, putting very intelligent question and all. Said, yeah, fine. Okay, there is Rama going, and along with him, the Krishna's brother also came. So we there is a name for him, as we don't call him always Balarama. Sometimes he is also called Rama. So how will you tell that? Said, you are right. That means the Rama Ugachataha. We'll say, okay, fine, fine. Then what about Rama? Said, when they were going now, Parashurama came suddenly. So Parashurama, it's long name now. So instead of Parashurama, we can call him also Rama. Na? So, you are right. Then Rama is possible. So that is a Rama. So when they asked her, so how you will prove that for Lakshmana? Said, okay, Lakshmana was fighting with a Rakshasa. So they were when they're fighting, there was one Lakshmana for the Rakshasa. He gave one punch, then his head hurled, then two Lakshmanas he saw, then he punched even more. Then there were many Lakshmanas around. So how will you represent that thought? How will you tell that thought? Said, Lakshmana are there. He will see many Lakshmanas, na? So you'll need it. I said, right, you are right. So we have to cook stories. We have to tell the concept that way. Okay. So that is how Ramaha have come to existence. So one Rama, two Ramas, and many Ramas. In the same way, one Lakshmana, many Lakshmanas, one Bharata, many Bharatas, and all these things. Okay. So this is how the Nama Pada is working. Okay, and this is giving the karta. This is where I wanted to tell that. So Ramaha Jayati. Who is winning? Ramaha. So this is the karta, the Prathama Vibhakti. This is called Prathama Vibhakti, and it is representing karta. It is not directly karta. There are some problems in the Vyakarana wise concepts, and I don't want to go into depth as I myself am not very clear about that. So I confirmed with my Vyakarana counselor that it is, you tell them it is just representing karta, that's all. Okay. Okay. Now this is how the whole thing looks. And as I told you, the Sambodhana Vibhakti has something like, now let us know what is a Sambodhana Vibhakti. Sambodhana is calling someone. Okay, Sambodhana, that technically means calling someone, right? When you invite, like somebody is going and say, hey you, so we call. So, oh Rama, oh Krishna. So there you don't say the Vibhakti, Visarga. Okay, oh Ramaha, oh Krishnaha, you don't call. You say, oh Krishna, oh Rama. In Sanskrit also same. Okay, so in the Prathama Vibhakti we say Ramaha Gacchati. Rama is going. When we say Rama is going as a third person, we say Ramaha. When we ourselves are calling him and he is in the second person to us, come here, we want to say, oh Rama. Okay, hey Rama Mam Palaya in that shloka. Oh Rama Mam Palaya, Bho Rama Mam Palaya. So please protect me. Like that, Rama without Visarga. Okay, so that is how Sambodhana works. So for these two, we say, some people say Sambodhana Prathama Vibhakti, some people say Sambodhana Vibhakti. So let us just put it at the end. Now we are putting it together. We will put at the end. After the seventh Vibhakti is done, then we will put it down. 7 plus 1, there it will come. Okay. So this is how the Vibhakti Pratyayas are su aujas. Aha au aha in case of the. So these su aujas are, as I told you, there are like many endings. Ending and ajantas and halantas. Okay, the ach endings and hal endings. There are many kinds of words. For all of them, su aujas is the base. They are all the sup pratyayas common for all. But in the case of akaranta, in case of the a ending nominative base, these become aha au aha. Okay, so aha au aha is for all practical purposes. These are the working vibhaktis. So for all a ending words, you can just put aha au aha. Okay, so devaha devau devaha. In the same way, lakshmanaha lakshmanau lakshmanaha. In this way. So you can use these pratipadikas. I have tried to give the meanings in Hindi, but they are not of any use to you. But let me just tell you in English. Pavana is wind, Megha is cloud, Anala is fire, Parvata is a mountain, Vriksha is a tree, Chandra is the moon, Khaga is the bird, Surya is the sun, Bala is the boy, Jana is a person any general person, people we say like that. Ishvara, God, Bhagavan, Nara, man, Manushya, some general human kind of. Okay, Nara can also mean human. Dripa is king. Okay, so these are the words which I prepared. You can just make sentences along with them. And there are some Bandhu Vachaka. Bandhu Vachaka is telling the relationship. Okay, let me tell it briefly as we are running out of time. Janaka, father. Pitamaha, father's father. Matamaha, mother's father. Sodara, brother. Anuja, younger brother. Agraja, elder brother. Suta is the son. Pautra, Suta and Putra, both mean son. Pautra, son's son. Prapautra, son's son. Okay, the fourth generation. Dauhitra is daughter's son. Okay. Matula is mother's brother. Pitravya, father's brother. Shvashura, wife's father. Shyala, wife's brother. Okay. So these are the relationships. So Devara and husband's younger brother. Okay. So these are the relationships. Okay. So the next Napunsakalinga, I'll try to cover next in the next class. Okay. Then any doubts? No? Fine. Then we will close the class. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्याय्येन मार्गेण महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् अस्तु स्वस्ति नमो नमः।